Imagine a freight train running through your neighborhood, but there's no tracks. 100-mile-per-hour winds screaming through due to the Santa Ana winds. This isn't just any brush fire either. According reports from the Los Angeles Fire Department, better known as the LAFD, reported that that over 6,800 structures were completely burned down to the ground, and well over $25 billion of economic loss. This redefines what a wildfire urban interface could be for every Californian. The 2025 Palisade wildfires was a preventable catastrophic fuel for the holdovers worsening the failing water structure, as well as the requiring overhaul of our urban fire policies. Today I'll be talking about the preventable causes to these, from the absolute destruction of housing to the economic loss, as well as the solutions that our Senate is taking towards fixing these problems. But first, we have to talk about the but first we must understand why this fire was so uniquely devastating. We must first look at the specific failures of our mechanical defense, as well as the displacement of our community. When the fires first hit the Palisades, our infrastructure was crumbling. Quoted from Wagner D., writing for the LA Times. On March 5th, 2026, reports of over 1,500 families were still left in the temporary housing for well over 14 months after the fires. That is a complete show of our failure to recover. Furthermore, the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety noted on February 14th of 2026 stated that well over 90% of the homes lost that day were due to poor housing code infrastructure and not matching the heat that came with it. However, the most terrifying moment was when our hydrants went dry. The LAFD After Action Review from October 9th of 2025 confirmed that the total loss of water pressure occurred in 20% of high elevation hydrants due to power failures at pumping stations. Now that we've looked at the problems of water failure and the community displacement, let's look at the controversial causes of how this fire began. The first cause was due to the Santa Ana winds and fires not originally being put out. And the second cause was due to an arsonist. The ghost fire, many people don't realize, was a zombie fire. According to the Danko Meredith Law Group, explained on January 5th of 2025, the initial Launchman fire from a week prior had supposedly not been mopped up. Residual heat was embedded deep inside the ground and was building up to the weeks prior to the Great Palisade fires. As well as the next cause, which was an arson. The fire wasn't just a mistake, it was an act of intent. And according to the U.S. Department of Justice press, released on March 10th of 2026, confirming that a suspect was taken. Jonathan Recknick is currently facing life in prison for aggravated arson causing death. Now that we've explored the causes of the subterranean recognition of human and interface, let's move on to the solutions that can protect our canyons for future fires. The first one is a Senate bill getting passed, which is 1082 by our senators. What this bill insinuates is that the implication of AI-driven thermal imaging to prevent this from ever happening again. The legislation reformed State Senator Ben Allen introduced SB 1092 on March 2nd of 2026, which mandates all cities must prioritize rebuilding of rent-controlled units destroyed in these zones to prevent predatory land grabs. As well as the second solution, high technology detections. We're also getting smarter with technology. The Cal OES annual report from January 20th of 2026 highlights a new $50 million investment into infrared satellites monitoring and detecting reignition signatures before winds pick them up. And now that we know the solutions for the legislative reforms and advanced detections, let's bring these points together. We've analyzed the problems, the infrastructure failures, the causes of the Launchman fires, as well as the Launchman reignition fires, as well as the solutions currently being implemented. The Palisade fires was a perfect storm for destruction, as well as it proved our current firefighting and building strategies are no match for the current day fires. The wind will blow through the Pacific Palisades again, but next time we should be prepared to make these changes. The hydrants must be full, the residents must be protected, and our community must be ready.